Hey everyone, it's Tammy at Walnut Creek Bath Boutique. Today I am back with another video, and this time it's all about sugar scrubs. Sugar scrubs are great, especially for the winter time, and we're heading in there now. And I love making emulsified sugar scrubs, which quite frankly, most sugar scrubs or most body scrubs are emulsified nowadays. Back in the day, you may have seen or even bought a scrub and it would have like a thick layer of oil that kind of rested on top of all the sugary good bits, and you had to stir it every time. Anymore, they don't, I don't think many people do it that way anymore. Most people will add an emulsifying wax, and that just brings those oils and sugars and all those ingredients and kind of binds them together so there's no separation. And that's what I've made here. So this is my lavender sugar scrub, and I just thought I'd bring you along and show you how I made it. Stick around to watch. If you enjoy this kind of video, please consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. That would really help my channel a lot, and I do appreciate every single one of you. So let's get on with the video and we will make some sugar scrub. Here we are in this pot. I don't know if you can tell, I have some melted oils. I have stearic acid to thicken things up, and I also have emulsifying wax in here that's going to bring all these oils and the sugars together. I also have cocoa butter in here, and I'm getting ready to put some shea butter in. So the cocoa butter and the shea butter are high in fatty acids, and so they are very hydrating, nourishing. Shea butter actually is like an anti-inflammatory, so I think it's really great for wintertime, and I love putting those two butters into my scrubs. So I'm going to take this off my towel here and set it over here on my scale. Kind of working around, I have my hot plate over here to the right of me, and it's still pretty hot. So I'm going to get some shea butter out of here. I'm going to go ahead and melt this in with the hot oils. This will melt them gently. So I didn't want to burn the shea butter. Cocoa butter is a little bit more hearty. You don't want to get it too hot still, but it can take a little more heat than the shea can. And then the next thing I'm going to put in here is my sunflower oil. I get my sunflower oil from Crafter's Choice, or Soaper's Choice, I'm sorry, Soaper's Choice. All right, so I'm just hoping that the residual heat will kind of keep melting these down. I am going to go ahead and put in my last liquid ingredient for now. I'm going to go ahead and use a smaller scale. And this is going to be my, I haven't gotten it out yet. Okay, so I rearranged my ingredients. I got some baskets and kind of rearranged my ingredients, and I couldn't find my IPM. So IPM's out. This stands for isopropyl myristate, and it is an emollient. So it's going to soften and smooth your dry skin. So it's really, I love this. I used to make sugar scrubs without this, and I think this one ingredient makes a huge difference in my end product. So always I'm going to put IPM in there. I'm going to set this on the hot plate. It is off, but I'm hoping that residual heat that's from the plate will help those melt just a little bit. I have this brown paper here. I'm struggling with glare in my videos, and I have these rope lights along the wall here in front of me. I turned those off, and I'm putting this brown paper down to see if I can stop some of the glare I'm having. It's very annoying for you, I'm sure. All the little bits are melted now. I'm going to go ahead and put my IPM in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer this into my bowl, get this in the refrigerator, and bring you back when it's time to start whipping this. I'm going to get it to be about semi-solid before I start whipping it. So I will bring you back for that part. Well, we're back. It has been, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or so in the fridge. So here it is. And it's a little bit fluid inside, but it's starting to get a little thick on the outsides. So what I want to do is just kind of whip it. I'm gonna go ahead and just whip it down, fluff it up a little bit, and probably have to put it back in the refrigerator. But I thought I would show you how this looks. All right, so definitely gonna have to go back in the refrigerator. It's very, very fluid still. Like I said, I knew I was gonna have to do that. It's just, I didn't want, sometimes if you let the sides get too far gone, they're just impossible to get off the side of the bowl. So I'm just, have to run it back upstairs and put it back in the refrigerator for, I'm gonna guess, another 20 minutes or so. Okay, I'm back. Got this out of the refrigerator. Get my paper towel out of the way. Oh, this I think is a perfect consistency, if you can see that. It's quite nice. I'm just gonna let it blend until it kind of has some peaks going and gets nice and fluffy. I may put it back in the refrigerator. Let me take this off of here. Hopefully with the new lighting setup, you're not having the glares that you were once having. I don't know. I'm still working on it, guys. I don't want to spend another $200 in lights. But, you know, I also want to put out some good videos too. So, I don't know. I'm working with what I have for right now, and you know, if this takes off and I get lots of subscribers, generally speaking, you know, I wouldn't mind investing in it. It's hard when you're first starting out to know, you know, if it's going to go anywhere. You're okay investing, but if it's, you know, I'm not planning on it not going anywhere. I think it's a little soft still. What I'm afraid will happen is once this heavy sugar gets in here, it's just gonna kind of flatten out, and you know, it'll fill the jar nicely, and then in a week it'll kind of sink, you know, gravity. So I'm not sure it's ready to hold the weight of the rest of the ingredients. And I still have my liquid Germall Plus to put in here, and I have vitamin E to put in here, which is more liquids, let alone the fragrance oils. So I have those sitting aside here. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and put those in here now and whip those up. I act like I've never made this before. I've made this several times. It's just been a while. And I'm trying to remember the last time I made it, it did sink. I was a little disappointed. I didn't let it refrigerate long enough. Patience, not my virtue. I am not a patient person. So I'm gonna whip this up one more time and put it back in the refrigerator. Go eat lunch, and maybe by the time we get back, it'll be ready to go. So I'll see you then. If you can see that, it's a little off screen. We have some nice stiff peaks now. And I'm gonna go ahead and split this before I add the sugar. I have them split off into two, and into this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on my mixer. I'm gonna go ahead and add my fragrance. I am starting with lavender. And I'm using Crafter's Choice today, Lavender 4040 essential oil. I'm going to be using TKB Soapberry Purple for this lavender one. It's so pretty. Let's see. See what that looks like. And lastly, the sugar. Lots of sugar in there. So I'm going to change this over to ounces. And this batch, I've changed. I used to use 6-ounce jars. I don't have enough 6-ounce jars to do the whole batch. So I'm going down to 4-ounce jars. I've basically stopped buying the 6 ounces, and I went 4 and 8-ounce jars. So because of that, I've always made this in 6-ounce. I'm just not sure how many ounces I'm going to be able to get in here. I'm hoping at least 4, but 4 looks like it's going to be pretty close. Let's see. So that looks pretty. I like the color. 4 ounces is about right. I'm going to leave the lid off and just keep filling. If you watched my earlier video, you may have heard me say this before, but what I like to do is fill my jars. I weigh every single jar of every product, so that way I know that you're getting at least the minimum of what the label will say. So the label is going to say 4 ounces. And so what I do is I fill up as many jars as I can at the 4-ounce mark. And then if there's any remaining, then I just kind of evenly distribute whatever's left in the bowl between all the jars. So you'll always get a little bit, I shouldn't say always, but I try to always give you a little bit more than what the label actually says. So I ran and got and cleaned a 2-ounce jar because there's quite a bit left in here. So if I can get maybe 1.5 ounces in this, maybe 2 ounces. But this can be a sample for a gift basket or somebody that purchases a big purchase. I can sometimes throw the samples in there of something a little bit nicer. And now that I've got that, I can go through and just kind of top off all these little jars. It smells so lovely. It's one of those safe scents. Like if you're buying a gift, lavender is just one that everybody likes. I had to get rid of that glove. I'm trying, COVID, gloves are not as easy to come by as they used to be. So I am trying to conserve my gloves. So that made 3, 6, 9 4-ounce jars and 1 sample 2-ounce jars. I think that was a 2 ounce. Yeah, 2 ounces. This next scent is going to be Lavender and Geranium. So I'm going to just get this out of the way for a second. And I need to go get more jars cleaned. So I may just kind of get this cleaned up and ready, and then I'll bring it back. I kind of cleaned off a little bit. I just sprayed off some new jars to sanitize those, and I'm going to get this back into my mixer and get my essential oil in here. So like I said, this one is Lavender and Geranium, and I did this scent. Oops, I shut it off. I do that every time. I shut that thing off. I did this scent for the hospital I work for during the height of COVID. I made a super thick, I felt like it was just almost too thick, but it was a hand cream. And I ended up really, really liking it, but it was, that sucker was thick, almost hard to get out of the container. But anyway, I used lavender and geranium for that cream, and I just loved it. So why not put it in my sugar scrub? I'm going to use this coral mica for this one. It's from Brambleberry. I've had it for a while. Trying to use up all of these bags. I hate the bags with a passion. Smells good. It's funny, when I first started making sugar scrubs and basically anything that is whipped like this, I had the hardest time with my volumes, keeping them consistent. Because the more you whip something, the more air you put in there, the more space it takes. And then, like, so one time I would make a product and it would be, you know, I could barely get 4 ounces into this. And the next time I would make it, I would be able to get, you know, 4 ounces would look like it was only half full. I had a hard time with that. That was definitely a learning curve for me, just to visualize how it's whipped and kind of understand when it's good and when it's time to stop, or if it needs more, or all that good stuff. So that was definitely, like I said, a pretty big learning curve for me. And because of that, I had to keep changing my labels. One batch would say 4 ounces, one batch would say 4.5, one batch, you know, would say 3.85. I mean, it was just crazy. So I think I've come to the point where I know when a product is ready and when it's, say, you know, the appropriate time to start packaging it. So if you're struggling with that, give it time, and you'll find that you'll learn also. All right. Now, next step is labeling all of this. So I'm probably going to let them set here with the lids off, make them look a little smoother. Sometimes I pipe them, but I just didn't this time. So yeah, I'm going to let them set and settle a little bit, make sure they stay looking nice, and then I will get the labels, create the labels. I have them created from the last time, but I'll have to change it up because I'm going with a smaller jar. So I have to resize everything, put the new ounces and grams on there and all of that. So I have to update my labels. There they are. We got 9 jars each of the lavender and lavender geranium. So I'm looking forward to these. I think these will be a nice winter product for the website. So. Hey, I'm back. I got my labels printed. So I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out my lighting in here, but I was able to print my labels. I have a silhouette machine, and I design and print all of my labels, and then I cut them out with the machine. I am struggling so badly with this and printing. I'm just so frustrated. I had to walk away. I have these little squares, and these lines are printed so that the machine reads where to cut the circles, and it's failing. I can't get it to recognize these lines and squares. I just had to walk away. But there's my labels. So this one, lavender geranium, and my lavender. And these are the jars. So I'm just going to label label one, oh my gosh, did this cut? Okay. So that is the, yeah, that's the lavender. And I always put the top labels on first. I'm a little bit, maybe a little OCD about my labels. I like to, when you have to see the label, I like to be able to have a customer turn it so that the labels are facing the same direction. So sometimes it can be kind of a pain because I have to wait until all the top label, I could have all my ingredient labels ready to go, but I still have to wait because I have to put the top label on first. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. I just thought I'd come on here real quick and show you what they look like. So here's my label from the Lavender Geranium. And I'll just open this one up. So it's kind of rough in there, but it's fine. It's a sugar scrub, but it's holding its shape, so it's not gonna deplete on me like that last batch that I made did. So heavens, okay. So there you go. I'm gonna fight my machine, but I think I'm gonna fight it tomorrow. I'm over that thing right now. It's so frustrating. Other than that, I love it. But getting my labels printed sometimes is just such a struggle. And I did this view instead of the top-down view because there's a lot of shadows. And again, I'm trying to work on my lighting. It's a struggle. I'm struggling with the lighting, and I just don't want to pay hundreds of dollars to set it up. But so I'm trying. I'm just trying. So there they are, lavender and lavender geranium sugar scrubs. Pretty happy with them. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe or give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, you can certainly give it a thumbs down. That's okay. And yeah, just thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.